Well, we got some more breaking news after the Yankees signed Aaron Judge. They were not done. They have signed Carlos Rodon. Great pitcher from the San Francisco Giants. 14-8 last season, 2.88 ERA. Dynamic lefty with an excellent fastball, good cutter. And he will join the Yankees rotation that already includes Garrett Cole and Nestor Cortez Jr., two excellent pitchers in their own right. We're going to talk about it right now. This is NYY Recaps. So, awesome news. The Yankees have signed Carlos Rodon. 6 years, $162 million is what's being reported. I got to say, I've been a big advocate of the Yankees getting Carlos Rodon for a while. I'm a big Rodon fan. Power stuff from the left side. Probably the Yankees' most powerful left-handed pitcher since CC Sabathia. Upper 90s fastball, 98 miles an hour. He has got an unbelievable slider. He's got one of the best whips or walks and hits per innings pitched of any pitcher over the last couple of years. We'll take a look at some of his StatCast numbers in a minute, but he's got red all over the place on the charts, which is good. It's one of the places where having red in your charts is good. And look, I got to say, the contract itself, I'm pretty happy with. There were some rumors that the Yankees had offered 5 years, and it was actually mentioned on the Yankees Hot Stove tonight. Shout out to Jack Curry. He said that the Yankees were offering 5, and that Rodon's camp, mainly Scott Boras, who's a super agent and always drags out negotiations, he was asking for 7. Sounds like they split the difference. 6 years is the contract, and I don't really math, so I'm going to go ahead and do the math right here on a calculator. 162 divided by 6 is $27 million a year. So congratulations. Yankees win the betting. Nicholas Velasquez. Says CC vibes for sure. 100% agree. Meanwhile, just a random Rail fan says that big of a contract due to past stats. I don't like this. Well, you typically don't get a big contract unless you've got pretty good stats. And you can see his StatCast numbers on the screen right there. I'm just going to pause this upper right loop for just a minute. You can see that the average exit velocity and the hard hit percentage are not fantastic. But everything else pretty much is great. Expected batting average in the 90th percentile. That means he's in the top 10% of the league. Expected slugging percentage, not much worse. 89th percentile. Barrel percentage, top third of the league. Strikeout percentage, 95th percentile. So in the top 5% of the league. And if he stays healthy, that's a huge addition. Look, we talk about how much the Yankees strike out and how that's not good for offense. Well, when you combine Garrett Cole, who led the American League, I believe, in strikeouts last year, definitely set a Yankees record in strikeouts. And then you bring in Rodon, 237 strikeouts last year. I mean, that's a lot of whiffs coming out of your rotation. Nestor Cortez wasn't bad in his own right. Luis Severino has been known to strike out a few people. So this is big. I still think the Yankees need to address the bullpen, and obviously left field is a big matzo ball hanging out there, but I really feel like this is a great start. And according to many sources, the Yankees are working on something big. So we'll get into that as well. Let's see here. The Panther says Cole, Cortez, Rodon, Severino. Not a bad top 4. I think you might see Rodon slip into the number 2 spot in the rotation. The way I would do it is honestly, and this sounds a little backwards because Cortez was so great last year, but I would go Garrett Cole number 1, Rodon number 2, Luis Severino number 3, and then Cortez number 4. And the reason I would do that is because you're alternating righty-lefty every day for the first 4 spots in the rotation. Cortez probably deserves to be number 2, number 3 in the rotation, but both he and Rodon had ERAs below 3 last year, and Garrett Cole is only about 3.5. So that's 3 pretty good spots. And then I believe Luis Severino was about 3.18. That's not too bad either. So that's a really good top 4. Frankie Montas, not good with the Yankees, but he was a big trade acquisition for a reason. He's got filthy stuff. If he can keep healthy and harness it, Yankees might have one of the best 1 through 5s in baseball next year. Tyler Hopkins says, I'm excited about this signing. Wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Hopefully now we have 2 pitchers that can compete with Houston. Frankie Diaz says he should rock a mean mustache. Agreed. Bring back the stash. I really think that I agree with Frankie Baseball's sentiment here. He says that Hal felt the heat from the fans. Bullying works.
Excellent.
So, Hal Steinbrenner, whenever he's been coming onto the field in recent months, fans have booed him. They've let him have it. And, that has to get to a guy's ego. George Steinbrenner would get booed. I remember when it was announced that he was suspended from baseball, the entire crowd cheered. And then when it was announced he was coming back, they booed. But then near the end of his tenure, I remember after he traded for A-Rod, and then in later years, fans made him cry. They brought him to tears with the kindness that they gave to Senior Steinbrenner. How, he won a World Series in his first year as the principal owner, 2009, dedicated it to his dad. Since then, it's been kind of a drought. There are worse things in sports than 13 years or whatever it is, 12 years without a championship. But Yankees fans are used to winning a little bit more often, so they were starting to get on Hal's case. And I don't blame them. Alexander says, what's up with Matt Carpenter? Not sure, but be interesting if the Yankees bring him back. He definitely supplied some left-handed pop. I'm curious, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, who this big move could be. This big move that the Yankees are working on. The fact that they haven't addressed left field makes me think that it's a trade scenario, possibly for an outfielder. I'm leaning towards Brian Reynolds, but I could also see like a multi-team, multiplayer trade where they deal off a couple of prospects and attach them with some of those bigger contracts to try and move some of those contracts, maybe get back, a bat in return. Yushane Len says, don't forget that Houston's rotation has gotten worse since Justin Verlander left. 100%.
Absolutely. Hey.
Football Beefs thinks it's Brian Reynolds. Lori says, no to Carpenter. We already have a DH who isn't good in the field. Well, tell us what you really think. Adam Knapp has said he's seen Yelich. I think the time to trade for Yelich would have been when he was with the Marlins. I feel like you would have caught him on the upside. He would have been unbelievable in Yankee Stadium. I feel like over the last couple of years, his numbers have dipped a little bit. I don't have them in front of me, but let's pull Yelich up and just see what his numbers were. Christian Yelich. I've seen his name. I have no idea if it's credible rumors or not. So last year he hit 252 with 14 home runs. Good exit velocity in the 89th percentile. Let me pull up just the screen share here. The outfield defense doesn't look good. Jumps, he's in Clint Frazier territory in terms of the jumps, just the first percentile. Outs above average, which is how many outs you get above the average fielder at your position. He's in the 12th percentile, so he's well below average there. Not much of an arm either in the 27th percentile. And really in left field at Yankee Stadium, you've got to be able to play really good defense because it's almost center field sized, right? A lot of times they've said that, a center fielder should play left field at Yankee Stadium. You got 399 feet out to the wall and left. So, we'll see. I don't buy the Yelich thing, but you never know. Whoops. I put the wrong. There we go. You guys are getting you guys got a quick look at the game day screen for next year. I've been working on that a little bit. So, recapping the news in case you're just joining us, I see we have 715 in the chat. The Yankees have signed left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon. 6 years, $160 million is the deal. And it's a really, really fair deal, in my opinion. I don't know if 7 years would have been such a great move, and definitely the 8-200 rumors that we'd seen out there from a number of places. That would have been a little bit much for a guy who's really only had 2 healthy seasons, but in his healthy seasons, he's been outstanding. Just outstanding. It'd be interesting to see what number he wears. As you can see, he wears number 16 with the Giants, or wore number 16 with the Giants. That, of course, retired for the late Whitey Ford. Maybe number 61? I don't know if anybody wears number 61 right now. Honestly, flip-flopping it would look good, I think. All right, let's see. So Swin says, sign Benintendi and Jurickson Profar. I've seen Profar's name brought up a little bit recently. Profar at one point was the top prospect in baseball. Remember, there was kind of a little bit of hype when he got called up. And like a lot of prospects, it took him a while to adjust to the major leagues. He's become a pretty decent player. Benintendi, it's interesting that he's not back. You would have thought that if the Yankees wanted him back urgently, he would have been one of their first moves. Apparently, he's asking for $100+ million, according to reports. And he might get it. Seeing some of these contracts that have been handed out so far, would not surprise me if he gets, in the neighborhood of $100 million, at least 90+, which, some of us remember when Mike Piazza signed for $91 million, and it broke sports coverage. I mean, it broke all the radio stations. It broke ESPN. That was such an astronomical amount of money at that point. I think it was maybe a winter later, Kevin Brown signed the first $100 million contract, 7 years, $105 million with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers ended up trading him to the Yankees in 2004. Brilliant move there. I think that was one of the ones that George Steinbrenner kind of directed Cashman to make. That not a great move, but that was the compensation move when Andy Pettitte signed with the Houston Astros. So anyway, I think this is a pretty solid rotation. Got Cole, Rodon, Cortez, Severino, Montas, Herman, and Schmidt as spot starter options. I'm feeling pretty good about it. So thanks to everybody who joined. I'm gonna hop off because I'm gonna be live on the Bronx Muchachos podcast at 9 p.m. tonight. There is a link to it. I retweeted it. You can follow me at NYY Recaps Derek on Twitter. And there's a link up there, Bronx Muchachos. It'll be my first appearance on that podcast. Saturday night, we're having a little bit of a winter party celebration. I will be joined by Emily Nyman of the Breaking Balls podcast. She's hilarious. She's hilarious, guys. So tune in to that. Again, I believe that's, I think we're scheduled for 9 p.m. or maybe 10 p.m. I can't remember. It's 10 p.m. It's scheduled on my video feed. So go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you when I see you. Yankees, get Rodon. Big move. Frankie with the last word says, I like 80% of the rotation. Oh, Frankie, I agree with you. I'll see you guys in a little bit.